Welcome one and all to a breezy Sunday in Bridgeview, Illinois. We meet you at SeatGeek Stadium where Match Week 22 and MLS Next Pro arrives with an air of intensity in the Prairie State. Striking the match on the month of August with a tie in the Eastern Conference as Chicago Fire 2 make contact with FC Cincinnati 2 for the first time this year. The home side thickly in the playoff chase, and the visitors motivated massively by the prospect of a season-saving turnaround just before the curtain falls. Howdy, folks. I'm Peyton Gallagher, and this should be a good one. Both these teams feeling the extra degree of feet on fire, if you will, as the compulsion of the playoff push is certainly dancing in their minds. FC Cincinnati 2 stepping into this game. Only 4 victories on the year, 2 draws, 13 losses, but playing much better over the last month or so into the summer swing under Sammy Castellanos. Chicago Fire 2 and Mike Matkovich trying to strike up the offense and unleash the firepower for a team that has been stop and start throughout the year and have been very good at home. And to that point, they are bringing out the big guns here in this one. Plenty of players that have been in and around the first team picture. You look at Josh Cohen in goal, as well as that fearsome pairing up at the top end with David Pareba, as well as Jason Shukaluk, the last 2 Golden Boot winners in MLS Next Pro, as they will front this formation of 4-2-3-1. Only 4 players kept in the starting 11 by Mike Matkovich, carrying over from the match against Carolina Core. And by the way, that was a 5-1 win. So Chicago Fire 2, needless to say, mean business with the squad selection here in this one. Trying to stop them in this match is FC Cincinnati 2, who will once more deploy that signature back 3 for Sammy Castellanos, team that liked to sit against the ball. Only a handful of changes for them, 3 to be precise, as Christian Fletcher, Leo Reyna, and Andre Chirilla come out to make way for Yair Ramos, David Mosquera, and Nathan Gray. Should be a much more athletic, potentially more explosive setting of the squad for Sammy Castellanos, coming off a 2-2 draw against New England Revolution 2, in which FC Cincinnati 2 did hold their nerve in the shootout to get the extra point. Should be a good one. Always excited to see how the degree of intensity ticks up when we get to this point in the calendar. August really draws the line of that starting point toward whatever the end result and conclusion of a team season is going to be. And we have finally made our way there after what has been a long and winding road throughout the course of this just about first 2/3 of the MLS Next Pro season. I see Cincinnati in the white, Chicago Fire 2 in the red. Mike Matkovich, his Fire 2 team have been humming over the last stretch of games. Only 1 loss for them in the last 7. I see Cincinnati 2 with only 1 game played in the last 14 days. Should be fresh and up for the fight. And it is live here from the state of Illinois. Once more, I'm Peyton Gallagher, and this is Chicago Fire 2 and FC Cincinnati 2, Match Week 22 in MLS Next Pro in full swing. And scurrying down the far side almost instantly, Chicago Fire 2. Bold intentions and on the front foot. Cut out at the last by Steven Jimenez. And is back in amongst the FC Cincinnati 2 Next Pro squad after contributing widely with the first team throughout the course of this season. Down the far touchline and jabbed away. A real duel for it in the mid-park, and it falls in favor of FC Cincinnati 2. Puso, Dedejon frees himself. It's blocked bravely. It looked like it was going to be real danger there for Fabian Mrozek in goal. Last-ditch instance of intervention. It is a warm one, and Fire are trying to make it even hotter under the collar for their opponent inside the first 90 seconds of this game. 85 degrees here at kickoff. Dedejon Scoping ball in over the top. It was nervous, to say the least, in the defensive action, as Chicago Fire 2 drew FC Cincinnati 2 up and snuck a runner in the back door. It's out for a corner. Fire 2 have been absolutely lethal with the dead ball as a tool this year. Nine set-piece goals for them on the campaign. It is currently second in the league. They topped the division in that category a year ago. Scored 19 of them, the most ever in MLS Next Pro. All comes down to the delivery. This time it fails to clear the first obstacle. They'll do it again. Intense pressure in the outset. Sergio Orahel ushering into the heart of the area off a skip. Recovered by Shukaluk, who's been in flashy form over the last couple appearances he's made in MLS Next. Well, the scoring has come from all up and down this Fire 2 roster. For the last two times Shukaluk took the field, and he was able to pour in 3 total goals, as we do have an injury. Something must have taken place amidst the churn inside the 18-yard box. At a glance, that appears to be the figure of Landon Bourne. Should restart with a drop ball. All the way back to the goalkeeper. Again, that is Josh Cohen today, down from the senior team. And Fire 2 wasting no time, throttling along and into the final third again. All but living there in the first 5 minutes. Trip Fleming. Sergio Orahel picks his pass and picks well. Cross is blocked on the first engagement. Shukaluk. Trip Fleming. They're just knocking it about right now, the Chicagoans. Stanmeyer swerving to the far flank. A cross coming in from deep. It's going to sit on the chest of Shukaluk, who shapes his shot wide. Defender did a good job to deny a clear line of sight toward goal. You just saw Rozek back off. The ball coming down. Cincinnati may be a little bit fortunate to not have endured a much more meaningful chance there. He may have been offside, Shukaluk, just by the placement of the ball. And whizzed wide off the restart. In contest in the center of the park. And thumped away. Could be a useful free kick for FC Cincinnati too. Think about the big bodies that they can aim at, namely Cheku Niang. Has been one of the top goal scorers, leading marksman for this FC Cincinnati 2 outfit to this point in the year. At the end line, bending at that marker, and looks like it'll be a goal kick. Wobbling over the touchline and into the technical area. Fire 2. Get it launched. There is no offside on the throw, but it comes beyond the toes of David Pareba. And poking a hole with the pass. Niang's onside. Him and the goalkeeper, Niang! 1-0 Cincinnati! Checo Niang has taken it upon himself to split the opponent in two. Had just about timed his run perfectly and has beaten one of the best goalkeepers he will have seen in his young career with a tidy near post finish. That is a dream start for an FC Cincinnati 2 team that are the only squad in MLS Next Pro yet to get a single point on the road. They have played 8 matches away from the state of Ohio. They have lost all 8 of them, but they have commenced in flying fashion here today in Illinois. It comes completely against the run, as Niang was stalking in the tall grass, waiting for a moment to leak out on the last shoulder of the last man. Fourth goal of the campaign for the Senegalese striker, and he's hungry for more. Glancing off his forehead and down to Stephen Trilla. And that's a bit of a reprieve for Chicago Fire 2, who were feeling the pressure, needless to say. Stephen Trilla is not going to be shy about things in the box either today, coming off a brace against New England Revolution 2 in the last match. There they go again, screaming into the box and a popping of the tire at the end line. Callan Radosav, our center official today, makes the call and allows Chicago Fire 2 to maybe stop their head from spinning. Jay Norris, Audra Fullen on the linos today. Ryan Hommick is the fourth official. Lurching down to the far flank. Rather, I should say the near. Dedejon, infield. There was just a bit of a gap. Pareba's first touch let him down a bit, though, and it's a corner kick. The action is coming thick and fast, and this was a minted opportunity, potentially, for 2 lethal men in the box to level the duck. Both shook a look, and Pareba getting a taste. Again, those 2 players in each of the last 2 years leading the league for goals. Not a down and out. Looks like Ayub Lashar applied the final touch to provide a sequel for this corner kick for Sergio Orahel. Just now joining us only moments ago in the 8th minute, Checo Niang breaking through. That is the lone tally that sets the sides apart. Ball in. Gasson fails to reach it. But away it goes and ushered away from harm. FC Cincinnati 2, a team that has struggled mightily for offense, but coming good at the right time. With that goal earlier in the game, have now scored in 6 consecutive matches. That stretch of play right on the heels of what have been 4 consecutive shutouts against them. One of the longest goalless droughts of any team in the league to this point in the year. The offense is starting to click. Just starting to remind you a little bit about that late season push they made a year ago to get back into the playoffs after being far adrift at the midway point. Orahel, a clever little ball into the middle. So calm under pressure. Pareba punching ahead. Streaking forward and on the run. Turdin on the twist now. And at the, again, the last stitch, It's Noah Gasson who steps in. Dedijon was once more lurking. Trip Fleming. Deftly layered forward by Orahel into the box. Mrozek doesn't come for it. It's blocked again. Chicago Fire 2 flipping it forward once more, and it's 1-1. Jason Shukaluk has done what he does, and that is score. And score without apology. It comes down, it's just a little bit faulty on that first blush. It allows Fire 2 to continue to soldier towards goal. And with Shukaluk that close in, if he gets anything of a poke, it's going to be a problem. That is 4 goals in 3 games for him, for Fire 2, and making a point to the powers that be of his quality. Dizzying first quarter hour. Fire 2 weren't going to drop their heads with how well they're playing and how well they're scoring. You knew that that 1 goal was probably not going to be enough for FC Cincinnati 2 to feel comfortable. To that point, Chicago Fire 2 has scored multiple goals in 7 straight fixtures now. You can make it 8 if they get another here today, and that would be what is required at minimum to win this one at this point. Skirting down the edge of the box again. Almost all the play has come down the right-hand side for Fire 2. Whipped in once more, and Mrozek will catch it off the hop. It was Puso Dedijon, South African forward, 21-year-old. Hasn't seen a lot of live fire, no pun intended, for Chicago in Next Pro this year, but getting the run out here today, and he has been asking a lot of questions that haven't been easy to answer for FC Cincinnati 2 in defense. Pressure bursting the pipe, and Fire 2 reclaim it with the press. Swirling forward in mass. Busting along to get to the end line. It was Dylan Borsell. He is chopped hard, and a late decision for a foul by Callan Radisav. You be the judge. It was Bourne who came in, and it's just a little bit clumsy for him. Almost looked like he committed to the tackle before he was really ready to. And maybe you might go as far as to say unintentionally. Almost looked like he slipped. Out of the free kick, a good time to tell you that this match is brought to you by Carvana. Sirens sounding, and Fire 2 looking to flip the game after conceding in the 8th minute. A lot of practitioners in this regard on the ball, and it's slapped at by Lashar. Clearance isn't final. Looped in, and Mrozek had the reading. Again, left in the lurch by FC Cincinnati, too. By no means uncomfortable sitting and defending. They've held the league's lowest possession throughout the course of the season today. But this is the kind of stretching work that just is never going to be where you want to be against the ball. And with that in mind, they've taken it upon themselves to get out on the front foot, and Yang once more is in. Hunting a second, it's saved. The rebound comes right back to Cohen. Nathan Gray had it there for the taking. Josh Cohen, with his experience across the global game, held his nerve for the first save and didn't lose himself as the ball was in a position of ambiguity. Cohen has played in both the UEFA Champions League and Europa League. And this is a good take and a goal. Puso Dedejon. Smash and grab, and he's ripped them apart. It's 2-1. Just waiting and waiting, and knew exactly what he was about to do once he got the ball. Noah Gasson left in his dust as he cut inside. And leaves a mighty knock on FC Cincinnati 2, who only 12 minutes ago felt like they were on top of the world, and now they're looking up at Fire 2. Just a testament to the immense firepower deployed by Mike Makovich in this Chicago organization here today in this starting 11. Was just telling you when the goal was scored about the performance of Josh Cohen in the Champions League. Of course, folks will remember that game against Juventus a couple years ago. Hasn't seen a lot of play since coming back to the States with Atlanta United or his most recent employ with Chicago Fire. This, in fact, his debut performance with the Fire in any competitive capacity. Has been on the bench a bunch in MLS. You see what it means on the attacking front to have those players in the fold today as well. With Dedejon already getting one goal and looking for another. Shook a look. Trip Fleming. Into the middle, a take on goal, and it's just one hopper back to the goalkeeper, Mrozek. And it's Puso Dedejon's second goal in all competitions on what is only his second performance in MLS Next Pro. Seen 11 games at the senior level this year with one goal. Also appearance in the Open Cup for the senior team this year. And he's on the ball again. And he's rolled it forward. Rocking in the cross, knotted down, Mrozek puts palms to it. So tough to deal with as Pareba pounce with this ball coming down off the bounce. The goalkeeper keeps his footing and keeps his wits about him. You don't want to commit too early, especially with a player in the air like that, because if they do head it down, you have to wait for the ball to contact the ground to see where it's going to go. Very difficult level of goalkeeping from Mrozek, but done to perfection. Unfortunately for him, his job is not complete. Corner coming. Rushed in, falling free at the back post to Pareba. Cohen out of goal to meet it. Or hell, he does have free range to go left, go right, drop in or get forward. A complete master of the midfield. On the half turn and back in tow for Sam Rogers, or rather that actually Sam Meyer. Line splitting ball into Shukaluk. Cincinnati condensed well to narrow that channel before Shukaluk could make any meaningful headway. Fire 2 are just stacking players in those areas between the three center backs, making it very difficult for FC Cincinnati 2 to get their arms around them in defense. This is Charlie Holmes. Gray and Holmes in combination. Harry Ramos. If you can believe it, halfway through this first half, this might be the best passage on possession for the game for FC Cincinnati 2. They have hardly caught a whiff of the ball. Currently at this point, the possessional share is a 3/4 ratio, 75 to 25 in the percentage points. Favor of the home team, Chicago. All the way back to Mrozek. Summoned down off the chest of Sergio Orahel. Trip Fleming. Orahel just has his nature about him to always seem to pop up whenever a midfield teammate needs him the most for an outlet. Just encourage you to maybe take 2 or 3 minutes in this game and watch what he does when he's not on the ball. The relocation skills and the way that he just always finds a way to get underneath the skin of the opponent. And for the reason of him keeping it, Chicago can get forward now. Comes down a little bit loosely off the late arriving Dylan Borsell. FC Cincinnati 2 take that opportunity to intervene and get it back. Mrozek works it out pretty well. Bouncing one in the midfield, and FC Cincinnati set out. Too narrow though. Trying to get it wide. Holmes recovers it. Chirilla. Churning wide now. An early goal from FC Cincinnati 2, a strong rebuttal from Chicago Fire 2, and it's 2-1. Jeku Niang got the first, and it was a quick flanking endeavor by Fire 2 to restore the lead for them. First Shukaluk, and quickly followed by Dedejan. Steven Jimenez. Noah Casson. Ayub Lashar. Sam Meyer stuck a leg out. Great. FC Cincinnati 2 do grow much more menacing in the attacking endeavor when they do bring those outside center backs into the fold. Gasson is pretty far forward right now. Great. This is quality work in custody of possession. Can they make it count in the final third, though? That's the imperative question. Stefan Chirilla sees Charlie Holmes. who was anxious to get in behind, and the ball is well too close to Josh Cohen. This portion of the match is brought to you by Wintrust. Orhel again, just meddling along this near touch line. When he drops wide like that, it opens up so much space for teammates to just check into the middle and disorganize FC Cincinnati 2 in their marking responsibilities. He's on the ball again this time, and he's got plenty of runway. Orhel measures a brilliant ball down the line. At the back post, Pareba puts himself on it and presses over goal. Mrozek raised his hands to it. It did seem as if, had that shot dipped about 6 more inches, could have been real trouble. Already 7 shots in the game for Chicago, not even at the half-hour mark. More impressively, 5 of those have been on target. Orhel conducting. Victor Radojevic, the left back today. Seen him as that follow-on runner a couple times. Right now, providing the width as forward goes Shukaluk. He's around the keeper. The goal is open, and it is an effortless 3-1. Jason Shukaluk, irrepressible. It's 2 for him. It's a 3rd for Chicago. And the Fire are flying them in. It is some ball from David Pareba, to say the least. And it's as if everybody else just blurred away from existence for Shukaluk, who skirted the goalkeeper and sent Chicago sky high. Pareba's 2nd assist of the game. They both come to Shukaluk. How does anybody deal with this level of octane on the attacking end of the spectrum? For what Fire 2 have funneled into the squad, FC Cincinnati 2, it looks like it might be a long day. And it may get longer still. Flashing ahead, Dedejon one-on-one, lays it off this time. And FC Cincinnati 2 stay in the game, even if it is just with the whiskers on their chin. Dedejon probably could have gone this alone. Mrozek did a really good job of shutting the angle off. Don't think Dedejon expected him to get out there that quickly. And there was no square ball to be played, but there is still a corner for Orhel. Hoisting in, knocked off course. Confiscated by Fire 2 and remain with the pressure applied. It's fumbled away, free for a moment. Jimenez slashes it clear. Niang. They were angling for Trip Fleming. It never gets there. Driving forward with conviction. It was Gray, but unfortunately for him, he was a one-man army. Oh, it's sweet from Laura Howell. A midfielder whose resting heart rate might just be somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30. Coasting all the way to the edge of the 18 and turning the corner indeed. Cutback might still be there. Attacking player just kept going and going until there was nowhere left to go. Rojak puts himself amongst it. Thundering forward, FC Cincinnati 2. Would flip the script if they can get one back. Launched it over the top again. The flag will remain down. No, it won't. Offside the verdicts. At this point, FC Cincinnati 2 are likely to just be mindful of the fact that if they can steady and get it to halftime, they'll give themselves maybe the best chance to win this game or at least get back into it. Got to be very careful about the moments where they pick to get forward and potentially leave themselves exposed while chasing this. That being said, sitting back and waiting for Fire 2 to figure you out is not going to get Cincinnati what they need from this game. They need points so desperately now. Aren't fully excluded from the playoffs, but the ground is coming up quickly. Have every reason to go for this to the extent that they can. It's not going to be easy. A look at goal and it's in. Viktor Radojevic has rounded the ball up in the box and rushed it right on by Mrozek. Nothing can be done by the goalkeeper. And it is a quartet of goals in harmony for Fire 2 in the first frame. Just a little bit of hesitance by Charlie Holmes as he arrived on the scene, and that's all Radojevic, excuse me, needed to steer it in. I see Cincinnati 2 pick up the reins. It's a good turn at the end line and a bit of a shove. But no foul will be awarded. Goal kick. If you can believe it, FC Cincinnati 2 in the first 10 minutes looked like they were well on their way. Fire 2 were agitated by that. 4 goals in the half, 2 by Shukaluk. And that defines the tie as it's come to this point at least. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hyundai. Orhel. One, two, three, the pass is coming with ease. The shot is blocked. I see Cincinnati 2 off the hook. Driving forward, Sam Rogers. Spinning passes about fire two and crowding a lot of red shirts into a small cordon of area. Cincinnati 2 able to break it up. Regained almost immediately by Rogers. Now Trip Fleming rolling it ahead. Pareba lands with a thud off his left foot. Orhel. Niang had a bit of a bite at it. There was a chance to potentially put the gas pedal down in transition. That doesn't last very long. Trip Fleming. It was a cleverly crafted ball, and it still ends up sticking to Pareba. Top of the box, Trip Fleming. Thoughts of a shot. Sauntering in on the inside foot. Borso will contain it. Had to go all the way from the edge of the 18 to practically midfield to do so. Shuttling forward, looking for the cutback, and right back to Mrozek. Otojevich again in the midst, growing ever involved on the left-hand side. Sammy Castellanos will be hard-pressed for answers at the dressing room. And Ramos. Shifted back by Chirilla. Stefan Chirilla off the bar. It would have been a staggering goal. And it still might be something for Cincinnati 2, a bit of a bump and nothing more. Fire 2 accept the invitation to get forward on the break. Dedijon waiting in the middle. He's let it lie, and it still might be something. Charlie Holmes and Mrozek. What a touch. Trip Fleming. Wide for Dylan Borso and Sam Rogers. Otojevich. Dedijon. I see Cincinnati 2 not to be tempted out of formation. Pareba playing a little bit deeper in this game. Shuffled forward by Orhel. Orso left it behind him. A feisty fight from Sergio Orahel to try and regain. A failed exercise in the end. Ramos tangoing away from 1, 2. High strides and hooking up with the wide man, Stefan Chirilla. Chirilla thinks about it before funneling wide. Holmes eyeing the cross. Instead, chops it back into Nathan Gray. Poking some holes here. A shot comes! And it bends wide. Bitterly so from Stefan Chirilla. Can't expect too much stoppage time. Only pauses in play realistically have been for the goals. Up and over for Pareba, who has 2 assists. Can't add himself to the score sheet there. Will be another corner. Hell makes the long venture to the flag. Board might be up by the time that this is back in play. It's smuggled out momentarily for FC Cincinnati 2. Pareba plying at it. There's Ramos, who gets it off his foot before he can be dragged down. It's advantage. It's a 3-on-2. A leaking run and a well-placed ball. Gray gets one back. Nathan Gray. When Cincinnati needed it, they renew the interest right before the strike of halftime. A cunning counterattack that all starts with the effort of Yair Ramos to dispatch the ball before he can be dragged down. And on the attacking end, the tip of the spear that jabs home is Nathan Gray. That certainly changes the team talk. And after taking wave after wave of punishment throughout this first half, following the early go-ahead, FC Cincinnati 2 have shown a strong jaw. Sammy Castellanos will be beaming, at least at that break. Last time, though, Fire 2, someone hit the back of their net. That woke them up. A shuffle and shake from Chirilla. And they are flying forward now. Scrambling out towards the corner. It's Gray again. Gray guiding in. Off the head of Rogers. Cohen will reach it. That was Gray's first goal of the year moments ago. And it seems to have lifted the spirits a little bit. That being said, Cincinnati 2 a little bit labored in the retreat to the defensive end. Shook a look on a hat trick. Needed about a foot more of grass. Stefan Chirilla beyond the allotted 2 minutes. And it comes conclusively. The whistles of the referee, Callan Radisav. 1 goal for FC Cincinnati 2 in the 8th minute, then 4 from Chicago Fire 2. Capped off late by Nathan Gray. grabbing one back for the roadside, and that is where we are. 6 goals hit the back of the net in the first 45 minutes here in Bridgeview. And again, our score at the half is 4-2, Chicago Fire 2 with the advantage. Coming up in our halftime show, a Texas two-step as some of the players and profiles from that club are coming to you, plus scores and August schedules, and a first-half highlight from what we've already seen. When we come back, that's all to come in our halftime coverage. We bring you back to SeatGeek Stadium, where our score is 4-2 at the rank. Chicago Fire 2 out on the front foot in match week 22 and MLS Next Pro. But with time on our hands here at the half, we will take a visit with a couple standout players in the state of Texas. Features on Matthew Arana as well as Edu Nis of Houston and North Texas. Take that two-step now.
My name is Matthew Arana. I play for Houston Dynamo, and I play attacking midfielder.
Born and raised in Rocheron, Texas, Houston Dynamo homegrown midfielder Matthew Arana is proud to represent the Bayou City.
Matthew Arana, goalkeeper at the mercy of the finish.
Arana picks it up, 2 defenders in front of him, and stings the back post.
I feel really great. I was born and raised there. No one would ever thought a kid from Rocheron would be pro at 15 years old. And I feel amazing to be able to represent Houston, where I'm from.
Arana joined the Dynamo Academy at 11 from his local club Rise SC and quickly climbed the ranks.
I was playing like a year up already. I was already used to it, but it was like a different level still, because there was other kids I never knew that came to this team, and they were all really good, so I started off a little bit slow, but I started getting used to it, and then I went up the ranks.
From Houston, getting the first Dream Academy. At 15 years, 5 months, 24 days of age, the youngest first-team signing in club history. 15!
I felt amazing. I was ready. I was praying, hoping my name would get called and I could step on the field. When I got there, we did the warm-ups and stuff like that. And I was warming up, and we had one sub left, and I was the last one. I was like, hopefully my name gets called. And when I went in, honestly, it's a feeling I can't explain how I felt, but it was amazing. And playing against a player like Son, I never thought I would watch him. When I was younger, I never thought we'd be playing against him. It was really beautiful.
As Arana developed through the academy, his next step with Dynamo Dos continues to push his game forward.
Arana likes what he sees. Oh my goodness!
It helps me a lot, get minutes in. And obviously this team is still high level. There's a high level of the whole league, and it helps me get minutes so I could prepare for when my time comes with the first team.
He has some really unique qualities to his game that are tough to teach and not many players have. His ability to protect the ball, to be deceptive, to dribble out of situations.
I think the level is just high. And every day you gotta be consistent if you want to get minutes. You gotta work hard. It's tough because I'm like a young player, but I think I'm getting used to the level, and hopefully I could get more minutes in soon.
I love Matthew. He's one of my really close friends. We went through the academy together. We've been with each other through a really young age, and playing on the field with him is amazing. He's a really good player, obviously. All I have to do is pass him the ball, and he'll get us to the other side of the field, dribbling through players.
His performances in his hometown have opened the door for Arana to represent Mexico at the youth level.
2 years ago, like March, they sent my Dynamo an email and told me that they were gonna invite me to a camp, and I didn't believe it. I was like, it felt amazing. It means a lot to me representing my roots, where I'm from, and my family, and it's a great experience over there. I got number 10 the first time. I was like, it felt a beautiful experience for me. When I went over there, I was a little nervous. That was my first time going to Mexico, but the coaches and the players were all really nice, and it felt like a family as soon as I got there.
Through it all, he hopes to make his family proud after all they've done to get him here.
A lot of sacrifices, taking me to all the far tournaments before, because I can't drive yet. They take me here every morning early, and yeah, I really appreciate what they do for me.
So my name is Edouard Nice. I'm from Belgium. I'm 21 years old, playing offensive midfielder for North Texas SC. Started playing for my hometown, Royal Sport. There's not a lot of people in my hometown. It's not really like a sport town or anything like that. It's just like a village, like a small village club. I played there for like 5 years. Yeah, that's where I started playing soccer. Coming from semi-pro back home, never won any trophy, never did anything, and then going to Northeast and just, talking with the coach before joining them. He was talking about trophy, winning a national championship, and that's what I wanted. That's why I joined them, and the first year we lost in the semi-final, and we came up close, losing 0 games, losing 1 game, and it was the game in the semi-final. And then the year we came back, we won it all. So first big trophy for the college as well, first national championship, and it meant a lot to me. Yeah.
FC Dallas selects number 306 Edouard Nice from the University of Illinois.
No, it was crazy. I mean, I was sitting with my whole family on the couch in my house, and even my best friend from back home, and I just wanted to hear my name. Thought that was the moment for me, and it happened. So I was really happy. And one of my goals coming to America as well was getting drafted, as well as going Division 1, and just that happening was like surreal. I couldn't believe it in a sense, because going from hometown club, village, playing 6 years there, then playing semi-professional, you don't expect yourself 3 years later to get called in the MLS Super Draft and signing professional for FC Dallas. For this season, I would say, yeah, I want to be obviously the MVP of the league. That would be a good goal of mine. I mean, everything possible, like winning the Golden Boot, everything. But at the end of the day, I just want to win a trophy with North Texas. I know they won one in 2024, and I want to win one again. I want to give my teammates the best effort from me on the field, and just they can look up to me and be like, yeah, this guy is trying his hardest, and we want to work for him at the same time, and just help the team winning trophies.
Good stuff there. Look in at a pair of budding stars in the Lone Star State. As for our game, it is 4-2 here in the state of Illinois. Chicago Fire 2 with the lead. FC Cincinnati 2 getting something late in the half to restore some degree of tension. Elsewise in the division, scores rolling in from the weekend as we exit July and enter into August. It was a thriller last night, 4-2. The final in that match between Tacoma and the Whitecaps in the Pacific Northwest. Elsewise in the league, big result for Ventura County, stinging 6 on North Texas. Final score there, 6-1. And SKC 2 able to nick one off Houston Dynamo Dos. 3-2 there, a 3-3 between Atlanta United 2 and Carolina Core that went deep into the shootout, 9-10. But Carolina Core able to bounce back from that loss to Chicago Fire 2 and get a result in that one. As for what is coming up, it is a clash between both ends of the spectrum in the Eastern Conference. Crown Legacy, who have been leading the pack for much of the season, up against Inter Miami 2, who will feel the urgency to try and get some points to enter the playoff discourse. And on Saturday, the regular full slate of games, attention to be paid all around the division. Interesting one there, as we will get to see Red Bull 2, who have gone through a bit of a trough here in the month of July. Had that really lost to Chicago Fire 2, but before that, FC Cincinnati 2 was able to get one off of them as well. See how Red Bull 2, the reigning champs, can soldier on into the back half of the campaign. Highlights from our first half of play here between FC Cincinnati 2 and Chicago Fire 2, and there were a whole bushel of them, and it would not have to wait very long before the opening goal could be scored. It would be authored by Jeku Niang, who on the fourth occasion this year puts one in the back of the net, the big man, leaving bodies in his way, even if they are that of his teammates. But it would be Fire 2 who would be flashing them by for the duration of most of the period, as Jason Shukaluk would start the feeding frenzy with a headed goal, his first of two in the half. Then David Pareba would orchestrate again, as Dedejon would swerve it by the goalkeeper Mrozak and get the lead for Fire 2, and they would not look back from here. Pareba again dropping a line and orchestrating, this time setting up Shukaluk, who gets right around the keeper with little issue and scores with relative ease in the end. 3-1 there, and it looked like this would be the knockout blow. 4-1, Dedejon just kind of whacking at it, but on for the follow-on, the fullback. And Rodojevic makes it 4-1, but just before halftime, Nathan Gray able to just about sneak one in for FC Cincinnati 2, and the Ohioans will be feeling like they might have a shot in the second half. Should be an interesting one. Excited to bring it to you. But for now, we step aside, kickoff of the next 45 when we return.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Yeah. Boys hear sentiment. Flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still sticking ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best. Can rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions. Trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes. Man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
Well, the goals are coming hot and fast here just outside the Windy City in Bridgeview. Chicago Fire 2-4, FC Cincinnati 2-2, and that is where we sit after 45 minutes. FC Cincinnati 2 grabbed the lead early and got a big bruise left on them by an angry opponent from that moment on. They did get one back late, though, and that has some folks around the ground may be scratching their heads as to whether or not there could be some intrigue restored throughout the 45 minutes yet to come. Once more with you to bring you the full breadth, width, and ultimate color of this game. I'm Peyton Gallagher, and this half could be a massive determinant arrow for where FC Cincinnati 2's season ends up landing. Fire 2 just on the outskirts of the playoff conversation in the mix of a whole bunch of teams in the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference. There is a wide spectrum of outcomes for them, depending on how the next couple of months go. And they would love to pocket all 3 points here and make it so that they've only lost 1 in 8 matches outright. I see Cincinnati 2, only team in MLS Next Pro yet to get any points on the road. They've lost all 8 of their prior games away from their home ground. In fact, they've not won on the road since October 5th of last year. Today being the first of 6 of the final 9 games that they will play on the road, though. So if there is to be any kind of incursion into the playoffs, yet again for Cincinnati 2 in the second consecutive year, they will have to figure out what the formula is, and no better time like the present. Looks like a whole bunch of changes both ways, and we'll get you abreast of those as soon as possible. Colin Radisaf reignites the tie. It was a feast of goals in the first 45, and that was a real treat. Curious to see if that kind of tempo might remain. Again, it's a pretty hot one today, 85 degrees at kickoff. Pounced upon in the middle. A freshly faced midfielder for FC Cincinnati 2. Unable to make it stick. That's Camden Spire who's come into the game. One of a pair of FC Cincinnati 2 alterations from Sammy Castellanos. The goalkeeper is down. So Semi Lachikar is coming on for FC Cincinnati 2. Yair Ramos, his day is done. He had inhabited the center of the park, and we already told you about Camden Spire. So those are the pair of amendments that Semi Castellanos wanted to make out of the break. Reflected down the line by Borcel. Onto it is one of the changes for Fire 2. Vitaly Hlutz, who is thundering forward to try and keep the attack alive for Fire 2, and he succeeded. It's a throw-in. Uso Didajon takes his 1 goal with him to the bench, and Hlutz will be the player to replace him. There's also the end of the line for Sergio Orahel in midfield, as Oscar Pineda will make entry on the heels of his exit. Radojevic also taken from the game as Damian Neek steps in for him. That's a useful ball at the back post. It just escapes the late arriving Robert Turdian. Last change for Fire 2 as Sam Rogers will exit at the back for Chase Nagel. FC Cincinnati 2, if you're from the outside looking in, you would say, well, that should help them get back into the game, right? A lot of those players that just came out were guys that have been in the first team picture for Chicago. But mind you, pretty much this group that's playing now is Chirilla. Charges one flying by goal, but just continuing the thought. A lot of those players that just came in were active parties in Fire 2's last game, which was a 5-1 throttling of Carolina Corp. And they have fresh legs as well on what is a sweltering summer day. So it will be an occasion for embraced adversity for FC Cincinnati 2 if they are to get anything done here today, even with the replacement players for Fire 2. And it is notable, only one more change can be made for Mike Makovich the rest of the way, barring a concussion substitution. Never know how a game is going to shift after that many substitutions happen in one go. Only time can tell. Steven Jimenez. It was just sitting there for a moment, and the referee has been forced into making a call after Chirilla went crashing into the ankles of a Fire 2 player. Nagel wide for Damianique, who's been in fine form as of late. Gives the ball away there, and he's fouled in the process. Neek had a goal and an assist that last game against Carolina Corp. Over the course of the last 5 matches, he has 2 goals and 2 assists. Whoever scores the next goal, you hear it a lot, but it does feel like it's ringing particularly pertinent in the case of this game. Dylan Borso. Sandmeyer, who played for the majority of that first half on the left side of the center back partnership, showing his range and playing on the right in this period. And it does look like it's maybe a little bit of a different build-out shape for Fire 2 after that quadruple change. Fleming, Nagel, and Damianique. Homecoming hasn't gone the way that Sammy Castellanos would have wanted to date. Had worked in the academy ranks with this Fire organization last couple of years before joining up with FC Cincinnati 2. But an imprint still to be made potentially for Stefan Chirilla. But just adding on with Castellanos, he would have coached a lot of the players that are on display here today. Prior experience working at the youth level with the Red Bull organization as well. Very extensive pedigree and a coach with a bright disposition and maybe a brighter future potentially, even if the results haven't necessarily been there this year for FC Cincinnati 2. What it goes for David Mosquera. Chirilla dances away from one tackle. Ayub Lashar. Look at how many Fire 2 red shirts are right in the middle of the park. They know what the objective is, trying to see out this lead. Mosquera can't confiscate it, and Hlutz is on his way. Shukaluk on the right. Already with 2 goals in the game, but nowhere to go there. He's come up a little bit leggy. Made the ball hit him in the face. Well, if there's any blood, he would have to exit the game. And again, it's important to note that Fire 2 have already made the 4 subs, so, and this very well could be a potential head injury. And if there's any even thought about that, both teams do get a 6th substitute made available to them. But if for whatever reason this isn't a potential head injury, Fire 2 do have to make a change. That'd be the last one they're allowed to make. The man who scored goals number 1 and goal number 3 is being attended to. Jason Shukaluk, who now having played in only those handful of MLS Next Pro games at this point in the year, he scored in every single last one of them. Had those 2 appearances back in mid-July and now the one today. And last year's Golden Boot winner at this point. I mean, he's not going to win the Golden Boot this year, you don't think. But he does have 6 goals now in all competitions. Also got one in the U.S. Open Cup. Actually got 2 on that day against Detroit City FC. He is. I've actually shorted him 1, excuse me. 6 goals now in MLS Next Pro for him. And 5 of them coming in his last 3 appearances. Ball's gone, and FC Cincinnati 2 come up with it. They can make things really interesting if they get one. Mosquera is going to lose out with Dylan Borso in his way. Borso. No reason to turn up the tempo. A patient piece of play. Sandmeyer and Nagel and Sandmeyer again. The opening presents to break a line and Fire 2 jump at the chance. Borso. Pareba, one-touch stuff. Shukaluk, thrusting along, back in. Shukaluk, taken right off his toes by Camden Spire. And that might inspire the transitional attack. Busting along to get around Stefan Trillo was Mosquera. And now the cavalry arrives in force for FC Cincinnati 2. Big Cheku Nyang running in the middle as Cincinnati 2 passed the ball definitely about in the mid part. Slipping a tackle, Mosquera fails to keep his footing. Was he put to ground by an illegal tackle? Our referee wants a word with Mosquera. This portion of the match is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Into the box, and the goalkeepers come good. Big save by Mrozek. FC Cincinnati 2 still drawing breath in the game, and it's only because of the heroics of their goalkeeper. It was shook a look again. A hard charging tackle and a foul. Looks like Pareba is providing the short option as Borcel provides his skill over the ball. And by Borcel, had a kind of boomeranging intonation to it as it came down in the area. And it slips beneath the studs of Stefan Trilla. Fire 2 have flipped the fullbacks coming off the sequence of play, resulting from the failed set piece. And that very same fullback was late to arrive, Dylan Borcel. Still driving, inviting all comers to try and get the ball off him. That was David Mosquera. And Cincinnati up and underway again. Trilla. He's been lively. All the best attacking moments, and there are many more of them coming recently, have often come with him involved. On the wide side, skirting by the tackle of Borcel, a drag back. The referee's not having any of it. I see Cincinnati 2 are readying one more replacement. It looks like the man chosen is Anamar Chavez for Nathan Gray, whose goal and an assist today have FC Cincinnati 2 with a degree of intrigue left in the game. Chavez's first time this year coming off the bench. Niang on the turn. I see Cincinnati 2 have to find a way to get him more involved. Trip Fleming. Past the hour mark. Pineda and put in the path of a full-gated Vitaly Lutz, who's in behind. Lutz! Right at Mrozek, who once more rises to the occasion and dispatches along the way. Spire, Chirilla, who's accessing all areas of this left-hand quadrant of the field now, going up and down the line. Cincinnati, too, have traded the fullbacks as well, with Mosquera moving from the left to the right, it seems. Steven Jimenez. Ball just stuck to him. And it still is. Dug out. And getting in gear, FC Cincinnati 2. Plowing wide, Stephen Chirilla on the inside, shoulder of Holmes. Does come to Chirilla. Spire. Charlie Holmes. Couldn't get his defender to lean either way. Does come to Chirilla again. You could always tell it was slicing, but that does not mean that that was not a shot soaked in venom and bad intention. This is a sweetly caught strike. Couple of those now from Stephen Chirilla, all from that exact same kind of space. Pineda pushed out to Lutz and Porcel. Prueba. A dummy. A delicious piece of play. Sugarlook back to goal. Fleming. Cincinnati 2 just can't get the ball back. Prueba. Over the top and away it goes. Lachakar. Trip Fleming. Damian Neek bouncing off the tackle. Chavez providing chase. Neek. In tight confines, Prueba. He has played much deeper kind of capacity here today, Prueba. It's been a bit of a trend line ever since his injury at the start of last season. Saw him miss almost the entirety of the year gone by. Lashar and Spire. Swooning over the top for Chirilla. Engine engaged for Damian Neek. Spots the run. And sent down the line for Robert Terdian. Will be escorted away from harm. Lachakar providing the cover. Goal kick taken quickly. This portion of the match is brought to you by Carvana. After 6 goals in the first half, none in the second so far. Things have slowed a little bit since Fire made that quadruple change. Jason Shukaluk, pair of those goals, looking for a hat trick. It would be his 3rd such in MLS Next Pro. Trilla rushing through the tackle and earning an advantage. In fact, Shukaluk has had 7 prior, counting today. Multi-goal games now in MLS Next Pro, which is just a stunning achievement, especially when you factor in all those have come in the last 2 years. Never a chance on that shot from Ayub Lashar. Between the two teams, 22 shots shared. Fire 2 already have 450 passes, and pass 451 is going to send Dean in on goal. Pareba! And Mrozek will lay claim after a long touch from David Pareba. Recovered in the mid-park. Lutz. Spire gets in the way. That might be a booking. It was Shukaluk who took the bump. He's been bandied about quite a bit in this half. Trip Fleming just quilting the passes together here. Fire 2 could be a great team goal. Turdian with a step behind it. Another save for Mrozek in between the pipes. Hoisted high. Didn't look like Mosquera knew much about where it might come down. Yang pursuing it. Spire won it, but the tangle crossed the line and the deeming of the referee. Borcel on the 1-2, connecting the dots for Lutz. Shukaluk's got the cut back. It's out for a corner. So Sergio Orahel take the majority of these in the first half. Him out of the game. The honors fall to Damian Meek. 8th corner of the game for Fire 2. Looking to land one finalizing blow. It was a good ball. Snuck away from the 18. Escaping the fingertips of Turdian. FC Cincinnati, too, have not had much attacking ambition throughout this half. Mosquera is back on the left now. Ambition might be the wrong word to use. Maybe spontaneity or ingenuity. Just haven't been able to get into those dangerous areas very often, especially in the last 15 to 20 minutes. Screaming forward, Lachikar. Steven Jimenez. Bit of a blind ball that's headed off. Klutz. Pineda wiping wide for Nick. Fire 2 firmly in commands. Bit of a shallow ball, but Dylan Borso is going to make it work. Another heavy tackle from Spire, but this time it's clean. Chirilla beating his chest and breaking out behind. Niang, is he onside? Yes, he is. Niang just missing out. Had picked up that bottom corner. Was it saved? Cohen does get a touch. And it will be a corner kick for FC Cincinnati, too. End of the line for Steven Jimenez. And Leo Arreoreina will come on to replace him, a plenty capable, industrious midfielder with a dash of creativity in his boots for sure. Here comes. Guided away. Cohen will catch this clean. On a rainbow flight to the far side. Chicago Fire 2 arriving on the scene. Pareba pedaling hard. Not the least bit rushed, the side in red. In the pocket now. Pineda. Klutz. Shook a look. He went to ground and no foul. Was to follow. Charlie Sharp. Or Charlie Holmes, excuse me. Nagel. Borso breezing away. Fire 2 have dominated this series. All time, only one loss to Cincinnati 2, and it looks like might be another on the way. Oh, what a goal! Pareba! A piercing shot. Absolute blade cutter of a ball. Stopped, looked up, and said, yeah, I'll have that. Get it out of the corner. No less than 25 yards. And David Pareba is back amongst the goals. 2 assists for him prior to that. He is nobody's co-star, though. Second goal on the year for him in MLS Next Pro. In fact, he's already surmounted his goal contribution number of 2 prior to this game on the campaign, with 3 on the day. And that should make it done and dusted, you would imagine. Spire counter-pressing. Back-to-back games in which Chicago Fire 2 have hung a high 5 on their opponent. Scored 5 against Carolina Corps on the road. In their last fixture, scored 5 today here at home. And 5 may not be what they're willing to stop on. Wriggling around at the top of the area, chipped along. Coming back to Pareba. Pineda, Trip Fleming. Borso hooked in. It was Shukaluk that was waiting just behind the last defender, who does provide a glancing header and out for a goal kick. Rather, I should say a corner kick. This portion of the match, this final portion, is presented by Allstate. And there is an SC Cincinnati 2 player struggling to get back to their feet. Justin popping up off the pitch to get that header in. That strain looks like it maybe has seized up a muscle for Lyndon Bourne. Being tended to now by the physio as Chicago wait for this corner kick to come. Now, SC Cincinnati 2 have made 4 of their 5 allotted subs. They have done this in 3 instances, but because 2 of the changes occurred at halftime, there still would be 1 more window of substitution. Lyndon Bourne can't continue. For now, though, they are down to 10 men. Rolled into the box and nobody's there at the back stick. I think that should maybe offer the opportunity for FC Cincinnati 2 to make one final change. They're saying Jack Mize has come on for Jaeku Niang. And that does seem to be the case. So that is the 5th and final sub. It looks like because of that situation, that might just be down to 10 for the rest of the way for FC Cincinnati 2. Robert Trudion's also come off. For the man that's on the ball now, Damian Villanueva has put one onto the post. Another look, and it is 6. A splendid 6th goal for Damian Neek in Chicago Fire 2. Hit heavily as Villanueva had the first look, clipping off the woodwork. And before Mrozek could even pick his head up, he was already watching the ball go right on by him. Damian Neek, back-to-back games now with goals for him. And it is a clear sky day for Chicago Fire 2 on their home patch. They were party to some crooked numbers a year ago as well. Fire 2, 11 goals for them now over the last little less than 180 minutes. Getting hot at the right time. It doesn't look like they're in the slightest bit content, though. Villanueva, wide man is shook a look. Borsell. I see Cincinnati 2 struggling to even get a word in edgewise. Villanueva keeps it alive. A retentive spell of play for Fire 2. On this occasion, got to be close up toward 600 passes at this point in the game. Flicked on by Shukaluk. Unable to wedge their way through Fire 2. No goals the whole half, then 2 in 5 minutes for Fire 2 to put it to bed. Just outbursts from them in each period. Charlie Holmes has kept it on. Over that of Cohen and out for a goal kick. Four separate players in this game between the two teams with multiple goal contributions now. Pareba chief among them with 3, 2 assists and 1 goal. Dedijon, a goal and an assist in the first half. Shukaluk with both his goals in the first half, and then on the other side, Nathan Gray a goal and an assist, also in the first 45. Villanueva unable to leash it and commits a foul in the process. I see Cincinnati 2. If they do get 1 goal here, it would be nothing more than a souvenir to take home. This has been one of their boogeymen teams before David Pareba so rudely interrupted scoring his goal. As foul is called there, that'll be a yellow card for a professional foul to Dylan Borsell. Cincinnati have really found it difficult up against Fire 2 all time 7 wins for the home side in this series playing out. 3 draws, only the 1 loss. They've never lost at home. And this will make it 4 consecutive victories for Fire 2. Now that given, the prior 3 had all been by the score of 2-1. As you can see, this is not 2-1. Cohen takes it without a bead of sweat on his brow. Waiting on the board to go up for stoppage time. We are 60 seconds away from that point of demarcation. Oscar Pineda. Porcel looping forward and connecting quite well with Villanueva, but his final product is not going to get Fire 2 through. Jack Mize. Lashar. Mize in the pocket. And he's undermined in the box. Two minutes of stoppage time. Carrying back down to Camden Spire. A shot from distance is blocked. Ball in, ball out. And Shukaluk only has left to do is cap the hat trick. Shukaluk, him and the keeper! Jason Shukaluk, a Fire red cherry on top. 3 for him, 7 for Chicago. And he seals his 3rd MLS Next Pro career hat trick stylishly. Nothing from Rojak. It is 7-2. A reckoning of a result for FC Cincinnati 2, and this one will be a tough one to take. It was 4-2, a very respectable and non-flattering scoreline to either party. That was just about 10 minutes ago. Fire 2 have forced this into being a number that will look a certain type of way on the schedule. Man, 9 goals in a little more than 90 minutes that come to their close at the behest of Kalen Radisav. Chicago Fire 2-7, FC Cincinnati 2-2. Let it sink in. Such a strong performance from the home side of Fire 2, even after they rotated out some of these senior players that started the game off and scored the 4, but there is no question about who our man of the match is. He scored the first goal, he scored the last goal, he scored one in between that, and it's Jason Shukaluk, a hat-trick hero on the day, starting things off in the 13th minute. Squared away header, easy enough. All 3 of the goals really just showed a high degree of composure in the face of target. This time it's him unleashed in behind, making a smart run, rounding the keeper, and just rolling it in to an uncontested goal. And from that point on, there would be one last kick in it for him. On the break in the 91st minute, he tucks it away and doesn't even celebrate. It's just what he does. Jason Shukaluk, 3 of them. Chicago at another 4 as a team. And that sends us on our merry way on the day. A result that will ripple around the league as Chicago Fire 2 put the sword to FC Cincinnati 2 here at home. Well, for our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, folks, I've been Peyton Geller. Again, our score as it checks out and the bell tolls 7-2 at the final accounting of things. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. But for now, we say happy trails from Bridgeview. Good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.